And I had to deal yesterday, too, with my wife in a snowstorm in the mountains driving to Pittsburgh, sending me pictures as she's stranded on the side of the road in 6 inches of snow in Breezewood, Pennsylvania in a nor'easter. And then, today dealing with the effects of that. And it's just like, what are we? It's April. What is today?
Yeah,
April
I know it's
18th,
April, but
19th. If you want to go to Citi Field today, you got to put on a full blown foul weather gear.
Parker.
You got Parker.
Yeah.
You got to go to turtleneck, winter hat, gloves.
Yeah.
You got a hot chocolate in the fifth inning.
I was watching a movie yesterday where they were. It was a World War II movie, and they were fighting in the snow in Poland.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about your wife traveling across country.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't want to sit here and say that I told you so, but.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, who's thinking about that?
Well, I've just got. We need to have a little bit more awareness.
Oh, stop!
There has to be a little bit more. Like your family is getting in a car and you're driving
don't even
across the country.
Put this on me.
Right into a storm.
Don't even put this on. Where's your empathy?
Well, I have empathy for Gina and for your family, of course, but
I wasn't my trip.
I mean.
It wasn't my trip. It was their trip.
It's your family.
I know, but I wasn't thinking snow on April 19th.
I think back many years, and I think back, I would always make sure that things were right, But I'm glad Gina showed some toughness.
She did.
She handled it.
She did. Absolutely.
I'm sure she was right in the face of it. She stared down adversity, and she made it all the way to Pittsburgh.
11 and a half hours. With 2 kids in the car.
I mean, was the sister-in-law in the car, too?
No, she was not. The mother-in-law was in the car. Sister-in-law was not. 11 and a half hours.
And I'll tell you what, that takes a lot on Gina's part. I give her a lot of credit for that.
Thank you. That's what she deserves this morning.
You, on the other hand.
How is this? It has anything to do with me.
I'll tell you why it has something to do with you. Because you couldn't wait to get to Topgolf yesterday. You have a whole free week. You've been talking about it. How this is going to be the greatest week. That's
not
one
what
of the greatest weeks that you've had.
Not what I said. I said it was going to be a
free week.
A free week. Yeah, it's a free week.
Right.
I didn't say it was the greatest week of my life.
Free week get off started.
Yeah, it was not great. It was stressful. It was very stressful. I got to say.
Right.
It was very stressful. I was worried about them.
All right. So, look, I feel like we're redundant here when we talk about these wide receivers.
Yeah.
Because it's Kyler Murray, too, by the way. We've been talking about these players that are getting to certain points in their career, and now all of a sudden they want to reap the benefits. They want the payoff, and I don't blame them. This is why, I would say to a player, if you're not drafted in the first round on draft night next week, don't worry about it. If you're drafted in the second round, that's what you want. You want to be a drafted second round player because you are going to get to your second contract a hell of a lot faster than you would if you're toiling with a 5-year deal that you get as a rookie. Now, you may get more money up front, but at the end of the day, all 3 of these wide receivers see what the previous wide receivers have gotten. Tyreek Hill and Devontae Adams in particular. Steph Diggs also got a contract extension. So these guys all want theirs. And
how far will they go to get it? Really is the question.
Well, I mean, are
they going to go full Le'Veon Bell? Are they going to cave because they don't want to deal with that whole thing? Well, also they are under contract right now. This isn't like a franchise tag.
They have 1 year left on their initial 4-year rookie deal.
So the team's got the major leverage. They do.
But the team wants the player happy. The team wants the player playing. And the other thing that this also signifies to the rest of the team is that if you ain't paying one of our best players when one of our best players has outkicked their contract, then we're not going to be all in with you guys. This is the business side of the sport that's really the ugly side, especially in the NFL because of the lack of guaranteed money. Now we're seeing more and more guaranteed money, and we finally had an all guaranteed contract with Deshaun Watson. But all of these guys and all of their agents are sitting there, and these guys are getting ticked. They want their money. They want to pay. They want to get paid.
So could Joe Douglas get one of these guys before the draft or on draft night?
He could. Yes,
it's not an option for the Giants. Their cap situation is terrible. They've done the best they can. They've tried to at least put themselves in a better situation, being able to get all the rookie contracts signed. This is a conversation for the Jets.
Right. I would say that whatever they offered that Kansas City accepted for Tyreek Hill, they could offer the same amount for any one of these 3 guys. Now, Deebo Samuel is a very unique player, and I'm sure Rob Sala would love to have Deebo Samuel on his team running the same offense that San Francisco does, and that he would fit in a certain way. And obviously that would hurt the growth of some other players that they're counting on this year as well. But I think that Deebo may cost a little bit more because as Deebo sees himself, now this is what Deebo is saying. He wants to be the highest paid non-quarterback in the league. Are the Jets willing to do that with him like they were willing to give money, or it seemed like they were willing to give money to Tyreek Hill? Now, hey, look, this also could be a PR game that the Jets are playing. I don't know if the owner wants to spend the money. I can't sit here and tell you that with confidence that Woody Johnson wants to spend that kind of money.
He must have wanted to or was willing to when that Tyreek Hill deal was as close as it was, right?
Well, you would think so. It also could be all smoke and mirrors as well to make you think that they're in on things. But I would like to think that Joe Douglas would be serious about it. But out of those three players, I was looking at Deebo Samuel, and he is a unique player. And he does all this stuff behind the line of scrimmage as well as a wide receiver, and he does have significant impact on a game. For some reason, I feel like I'd want A.J. Brown more. I don't know why.
Well, I'll tell you why, because he's a better player. I mean, that's why.
You think he's better than Deebo Samuel?
He's a better wide receiver. Let's put it that way.
Overall, I think Deebo's that hybrid, really good player that does make things. I don't know. It's really. But
slim. I mean, is he going to be able to do that same stuff for the Jets at this point of where they
Mike
are?
LaFleur runs the same offense.
No, I know, but it's not the same players.
I know. So it's Green Bay. Well, it's Green Bay, San Francisco, and the Jets all run the same offense.
Yeah,
and I think probably the Titans are running a form of it. I would think maybe even Atlanta runs a form of it with Arthur Smith, and it's really how creative you can get. And how creative your head coach will let you get with certain players. I could also see like a guy like Elijah Moore. Now, he's not as big as Deebo Samuel because Deebo's a unique size guy. And to be able to run with the ball, you have to have a certain mentality. And, being a wide receiver is not that part of that mentality. So he is a hybrid, kind of weird, kind of different player that if you found a unique role for him like they do for Cordero Patterson with the Atlanta Falcons, then I think you got something. And I think if you're an offensive coordinator, you're like, man, we got to work this guy into every aspect and every facet of our offense. That would be exciting. But you're right. I do believe that like A.J. Brown is specifically your wide receiver.
Yeah, which would be just a huge get for Zach Wilson in this offense and someone who would be a tremendous help for a young quarterback, obviously. I don't know why these guys do this every time. When they take the team name out of their bio or they'll scrub all the pictures of themselves out of their Instagram in the uniform of the team or whatever. I don't know if they think that works. We end up talking about it because it's like an exciting thing because we think a guy is on the move, but there's no doubt about it that A.J. Brown is now in that little bit of a space where he is pissed off.
Yeah.
Because things aren't going his way in his contract negotiation. He's passive-aggressively wanting everybody to know that maybe he's not long for Nashville, Tennessee.
Well, that's what all these guys do now. The other thing I will tell A.J. Brown is Nashville and the state of Tennessee doesn't have any state taxes. This is also maybe why guys like Patrick Mahomes are not going to Kansas City for the OTAs. These things are all... they're not required. They're voluntary. So he's staying down in Texas with his teammates. It seems like Mekhi Becton is staying in Texas for some reason. He did not show up yesterday for voluntary workouts. Maybe he's in the midst of losing weight. Maybe he also wants to make sure that he spends his 181 days out of the state of New Jersey, so he doesn't have to pay New Jersey state tax. That could be happening. There's a lot of things that are going on in the NFL right now.
If you're him, though, don't you have to be there?
I would like to think you'd want to be there. And
forget about the taxes for a minute. I know it's a big deal, but this is your entire career.
Yeah.
Honestly. There's sometimes you got to suck it up.
Well... I can't tell you what, with it being voluntary nowadays, and you and I talked about this, that I always thought that, Mekhi Becton staying here in New Jersey, working, with the trainers here, working with the chef and the cooks over there at Florham Park would have made a lot of sense for him. But then again, he has his own personal trainer down in, I guess it's Dallas is where he is. So, and he may be working hard, and he may be losing weight. He may be, maybe he's got a chef for himself, and he's watching his weight. I don't know. I was looking forward to hearing what he looked like when he got here, but he's not here yet.
He didn't even show up?
No, he's not here yet.
What a bummer. Did you ever have a personal chef at any point in your career?
Never. Never made that kind of money, man. I never made that money. I mean, I made good money, but I didn't make, $40 million a year. If I made $40 million a year, I'd have a private jet waiting for me. I'd have a chef, and I'd have, I'd probably have a place in Miami. I'd probably have a place who knows?
I thought you'd made enough for a Cincinnati personal chef to come over occasionally.
No.
Not to live in your house. But
no, I bought a new house, and, it was a nice house. It was... I remember the house cost $450,000.
You couldn't pluck one of those Skyline chili line cooks off the line and bring them into the home
and have them make chili for me.
Yeah, I don't know, just something like that.
Basically, what I had is every week on Wednesday night I had a massage therapist come to the house, a professional massage therapist who I had for the 7 years or 8 years that I was the starting quarterback before I got traded to the Jets.
Lawsuits. Good.
No lawsuits. No.
Yeah, right.
Yvonne was her name.
Okay.
I remember, yes. Very nice.
Shout out Yvonne.
Yeah, very nice.
All these years later. Yeah, I mean, Al always talks about the two signs of success in his mind is having a red Porsche and a urinal in his house. Right. I think having a personal chef is one of those things, too. You've really made it if you've got a personal chef.
You have to understand how much money these guys are making. You got to realize, this life-changing money and why guys are lasting until their 40s.
Yeah.
And this is why. I mean, the money is just insane, and it's only going to get bigger. You know why?
Because the salary cap's going up.
And it's going to go up because Apple Plus is probably going to end up spending about $2.5 billion a year on the NFL package, on the DirecTV package. This is the last year of the DirecTV package.
I can't believe there's another year. I was told this past year was the last year.
One more year, and then it sounds like Apple Plus is going to get it.
Okay.
And they're going to spend $2.5 billion a year on it.
$2.5 billion a year.
So that means the salary cap's going to go up, and Roger Goodell's doing his job. He's doing his job for the owners, and he's doing a job for the players. That's why, these players now, and maybe Cleveland is out in front of all this. They just gave Denzel Ward $100 million.
Yeah, cornerback that they drafted in the first round a couple years ago.
And if you remember the reaction to when they drafted him,
yeah, people didn't like it. And that was a, what's-his-face pick, right? Who was there before.
Baker Mayfield and Bradley Chubb.
No, the guy who was the
Bradley Chubb.
No, the general manager.
Dorsey.
Yeah, John Dorsey. Yeah, it was a John Dorsey pick.
You made the right pick?
Yeah. Guess so.
He did.
Didn't do a lot of great stuff there. We made the right pick there. There was no doubt about it.
No, I mean, as we know, the draft is hit or miss, man. And if you hit the quarterback, then everything else seems to fall in place.
Yeah, that's right. And that's what we've been trying to do here with these two New York teams.
So the interesting thing for me is that I think Buffalo and Kansas City try to get out in front of all this with signing their quarterbacks to long-term deals. And the Josh Allen deal is going to look paltry compared to whatever Joe Burrow and Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Deshaun Watson just got. His contract, they're going to be laughing about it.
Yeah.
And he's making a lot of money.
That is right. These deals are just going to start blowing us away. You thought that Patrick Mahomes deal was something? It's nothing.
The other thing, too, is you got the Kyler Murray situation in Arizona. You also have, again, Russell Wilson. He's chirping about wanting more money. He's going to be a good, loyal guy this year. You watch. And then if he has a year where he takes them to the playoffs, he better take them to the playoffs because they're writing already the stories about how great this team is going to be and how he's a difference maker and comparing him to Michael Jordan and everything else and Kobe Bryant. And yeah, he may be one of those guys that works out, that cares, that really wants to win, but he also knows if he doesn't take them to the playoffs this year and goes deep into the playoffs, he's not getting he'll get a contract extension, but he'll get an offer, but he's not going to get the offer that he's going to want.
Yeah, I don't like that team. I don't think that I think they're going to finish third in the division at best. Maybe even fourth. Who knows? All right, Boomer and Gio on the Fan.
That would be...
Well, it's possible. Oh, definitely possible.
Well, everything's possible.
I mean, look at that. Look at the teams that division.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.